How do you create and use a pantry inventory checklist? Hey everybody, it's Allison, Prep Dish founder, and today I'm going to share with you how I go about first creating an inventory checklist, and then the most important part is actually putting that to use and relying on it on a regular basis. So the first step is going through and listing out everything that you think you want to keep in your pantry. Don't get too bogged down on this, because over time you can always edit this and make it more what you need. But so in the beginning it may be a little bit more of a guess. I do have my sample inventory, so I do mine on a Google Sheet because you can input formulas. So I do have that linked below. So you might want to download that and you can follow along on that and use that as a sample for creating your own checklist. So when you're thinking through what you want to include on your inventory, the first place to start is just going in your pantry, seeing what you already have, thinking through how much you typically buy to stock up on those items, and then maybe looking at a sample list and going through to make sure you have everything on there. So some things to include would be grains like pasta, rice, quinoa, dried or canned beans, tea, coffee, coconut milk, nuts, nut butters. Also, you could include spices. So I actually include herbs and spices on my pantry checklist. And let me make sure I have a list, make sure I didn't forget anything. Canned seafood is another one that you might want to include. And then I like to include cleaning supplies, but you'll hear later why I order from Thrive Market. So basically my inventory is everything that I know that I purchase from there. So that's why I include some things like hand soap and some of those items. Okay, so the second piece, and I already touched on this, is you'll want to assign numbers for how many of each item that you'll want to have on hand. So in the first step, you should have a list of everything you want to have on hand in your pantry, and then from there assign a number. So for example, olive oil. How much olive oil do you want to have on hand? Do you want to have one extra one, two extras? Same thing like jars of marinara sauce. That's one that usually I like to have 4 to 6 on hand, or canned tuna. So go through, some of them it may just be one, but some it may be several. And again, this is a place where you will over time change it. You may think you need more of something and then over time realize you don't, or there may be something you think you only need 2 of, but then depending on the frequency of when you reorder, you'll change that as well. But just put your best guess here and assign numbers for everything. So the third step is to go through and actually take inventory. So you have your list of everything you want, how many you want of everything, and then I like to have a column where I specifically put in the number of items I want of everything. So for example, canned tuna here, I say that I want to have 8 of those on hand at any given time, and right now I currently have 4. So you just want to go through and take inventory of everything you have, and if the number is 0, that's fine too. You can just put in the number 0. And then for the next step, what I do is add a formula to the third column, so it'll automatically calculate how much of each item I need to place an order for, or if you go to the grocery store, how many you need to purchase. So this is where it kind of gets on repeat. So once you've done these first few steps, the inventory piece is the piece that you'll repeat on a regular basis. You'll want to decide how often you want to do it. For me, I found every other month tends to be a good pace. Depending on the pace you choose, it will impact the number that you need to have on hand. So so I choose the pace of every other month. And like I mentioned, these are items that I all order from Thrive. I'll put a link below for that. But the nice thing about that is then these are all items that I don't need to include on my regular grocery list. And I find that I can, one, it's reliable when I order online, and then it's more cost effective, I found. And then it's just also one less thing I have to worry about for the actual grocery list. I really keep these pantry items kind of separate than my weekly grocery shopping, which makes my weekly grocery shopping that much simpler. Okay, and then the final step is just to continue to reassess. So every time I do it, if I see that a number's not quite right, I'll go back in and change the desired number that I want to have on hand, and just continue to do so as I please. So really making sure that you continue to make it your own, and then again, continuing to use it. As with any system, it only works if you continue to use it. So I'd love to hear from you in the comments. How do you do a pantry inventory? Do you do a Google Sheet or Excel sheet? Do you have another system? I have been playing around with Trello for my freezer inventory, so maybe at some point I will make the switch, but I really like having the formula in the Google Sheet, so that's why I've stayed with a Google Sheet, is for that formula. If you're looking for more videos, check out this video I did on faster meal prep, or I've also linked a video on make ahead salad ideas. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and share with a friend. I will see you in the next one.